got a song here. Pretty much I recorded all my different tracks that I want in the song. Next thing for me to work out is the panning and the levels of each sound. I'll go ahead and play it back a little bit here. You start to hear here, as well as see here. Right here on track 1, this is our drum track, and it's at its maximum level, and we're not clipping at all. You want to watch for any clipping. If it's going above the trackability or clip, then you get like a blaring sound on any speakers, and you don't want that. So you have to lower that level down. Anyway, to get into the panning and the track levels, we use this button here for track set. And that brings up our level settings and our track settings. So if we hit the exit button, we can come back and see here which levels are kind of low. Like my 5 and 6, they're pretty low, and I'd like to actually give a little more sound to those. I've already done my panning and rotated them out, but for 5 and 6 I'd like to add a little bit more on the level. So I'll use the arrow buttons to scroll over, and then I'll use the dial button to raise it up. There we go. And now we'll exit this, and I'll go back. And actually, well, what we'll want to do is make sure if we get this to the levels that we want it at, we want to make sure to use the right button so that it saves it. If we don't use that right button and we turn the keyboard off, it's going to reset everything and it's not going to be stored. So once we get our levels where we want them, we'll use that right button and lock it in. And we'll hit the exit button and we'll see. Our track number 3 is a little low, and our track number 2 is a little low also. But we're going to want to kind of equal these out. So that's as high as we were able to get with a 6. When you originally record, like you hit your keyboard button to record a sound, it'll give you an input level. And at that point you're going to want to watch your input levels to make sure you're getting closer to the top but not clipping. You don't want to clip, you want to just be underneath any clipping. So it's kind of important when you're recording, because once you've recorded it, you're kind of stuck at the maximum that you're able to get. So I'm going to go ahead and exit here. I'm going to stop this and rewind it, and I'll just start it over here. And we'll watch for, we've got 5 and 6 a little bit higher than it was originally. And I think our track number 3 we can raise up a little bit here. So I'm going to go into track 3 and adjust that up just a little bit. I'm thinking about like 112. And we'll exit this and we'll see how our levels are compared to 5 and 6, and that looks pretty good. We're actually matching our 2. And for me on this particular song, that's about as good as it's going to get. What I can also do is lower down the track 1 so that these all kind of match, and lower down the drums. But I kind of like the drums a little bit up front, so I think I'm okay with that. Anyway, again, in the track set we can also adjust the pan. I'll show you that a little bit here. Let's go over here, and I'll come back. Well, we got to go down to the pan here. So lower it down here. I'll show you we were at 15. So I'm just kind of moving it around a little bit. Now it's more to the right side. So I'm going to go back to my 15 left. That's about where I want it. Trying to kind of balance out one sound on the left, one sound on the right, and then a little bit of extra sounds here and there to balance it out. But it's really up to you. You have a lot of freedom of choice and creativity to make your sound how you want it to sound and give a more ambient feel. So the panning kind of gives you more control over the ambience of the sound. Anyway, I'll exit here. I like the settings I've got. I'm pretty much leveled out here. So I'm going to make sure I hit the right button. I'll go ahead and stop it, rewind it, hit the right button. Okay, it's going to ask me if I'm sure. I'm going to hit execute, which is the button below the execute. And now it saved it. So if I had turned now I can turn the keyboard off, come back, and my song is exactly at those levels where I set it to be saved at, and I'm good. The other way to adjust the levels is with these dials here. We can lower things down or raise things up. If I go here and hit the play button, this is set on track 1 already, so I've actually lowered track 1 down a little bit. We can adjust it up or down here, but I'm going to leave it there again because I don't want it clipping. It's actually lowered the drums down a little bit more in line with everything else. Again, you hit the right button and that'll store everything, so I hit the stop, hit the right button, and that just keeps everything locked in and we're good to go.